Put your hand searching slow and dark. Your name and love watermark. It's not the way you talk enough. Your questions like directions to the truth. It's knowing that this can't go on forever. Likely one of us will have to spend some days alone. Maybe we'll get 40 years together. One day I'll be gone. One day you'll be gone. We were lives and death was a joke. We'd go out on the sidewalk in the snow, laughing all the lovers in planes. I wouldn't feel the need to hold your hand. Maybe time running out is a deal. I'll work hard till the end of my shift and give you every second I can find. And hope it isn't me who's left behind. It's knowing that this can't go on forever. Likely one of us will have to spend some days alone. Maybe we'll get 40 years together. One day I'll be gone. One day you'll be gone.
This time, 9 years have gone by, friends. Summer, 1913. Gradual changes in Grover's Corners. Horses are getting rarer. Farmers coming into town in force. Almost everybody locks their doors at night now. Ain't been any burglars in town yet, but everyone's heard about them. You'd be surprised, though. On the whole, not much has changed around here. This is certainly an important part about Grover's Corners. It's on a hilltop, a windy hilltop. Lots of sky, lots of clouds, often lots of sun and moon and stars. Yep, beautiful spot up here. Mountain laurel and lilacs. I often wonder why people like to be buried in Woodlawn and Brooklyn when they can pass the same time up here in New Hampshire. Over there are the old stones, 1670 to 1680. Strong-minded people came a long way to be independent. In summer, people like to walk around laughing at the funny words on the tombstones. They don't do any harm. And genealogists come up from Boston, get paid by city people for looking up their ancestors. Want to make sure they're daughters of the American Revolution or of the Mayflower. Well, guess that don't do any harm either. Wherever you come near the human race, there's layers and layers of nonsense. Over there are the Civil War veterans, iron flags on their graves. New Hampshire boys had a notion the Union ought to be kept together, though they'd never seen more than 50 miles of it themselves. All they knew was the name, friends, the United States of America. The United States of America, and they went out and died about it. This here's the new part of the cemetery. Here's your friend, Mrs. Gibbs, and let me see. Here's Mr. Simpson, organist of the Congregational Church. And Mrs. Soames, who enjoyed the wedding so, you remember. Oh, and lots of others. Why, here's Editor Webb's boy, Wallace, whose appendix burst while he was out on a Boy Scout trip to Crawford Notch. Yes, an awful lot of sorrow has sort of quieted down here. People just wild with grief have brought their relatives up to this hill. You know how it is. And then time and sunny days and rainy days and snow. We're all glad they're in a beautiful place. And we're coming up here ourselves when our fit's over. Now, there are some things we all know, but we don't take them out and look at them very often. We all know that something is eternal. And it ain't houses, and it ain't names, and it ain't the earth. And it ain't even the stars. Everybody knows in their bones that something is eternal. And that something has to do with human beings. All the greatest people ever lived have been telling us that for 5,000 years, and yet you'd be surprised how people are always losing hold of it. There's something way down deep that's eternal about every human being. Now, you all know as well as I do that the dead don't stay interested in us living people for very long. Gradually, they lose hold of the earth, and the ambitions they had, and the pleasures they had, and the things they suffered, and the people they loved. They get weaned away from the earth. That's the way I put it. Weaned away. And they stay here while the earth part of them burns away, burns out. And all that time, they slowly get indifferent to what's going on in Grover's Corners. They're waiting. They're waiting for something they feel is coming. Something important and great. Aren't they waiting for that eternal part of them to come out clear? Now, some of the things they're going to say, maybe you'll hurt your feelings, but that's the way it is. Mother and daughter, husband and wife, enemy and enemy, money and miser, all those terribly important things kind of grow pale around here. And what's left when your memory is gone? And your identity, Mrs. Smith? Well, there are some living people. There's Joan Stoddard, our undertaker, supervising a new made grave. And here comes the Grover's Corners girl who left town to go on west.
Good afternoon, Joan Stoddard. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let me see now. Do I know you? I'm Samantha Craig. Gracious sakes alive. Of all people, I should have known you back at the funeral. You've been away a long time, Sam. Yes, I've been away over 12 years. I'm in business out in Buffalo now, Joan. But I was in the East when I found out about my cousin's death. So I thought I'd combine things a little and come and see the old home. You look well. Yes, yes, can't complain. Very sad our journey today, Samantha. Yes. Yes, yes, I always say I hate to supervise when a young person's taken. They'll be here in a few minutes now. I had to come in early today. My son's supervising at the home. Old Farmer McCarty's wife. I used to do chores for them after school. He had the lumbago. Yes, we brought Mrs. McCarty here a number of years ago now. Why, this is my Aunt Julia. I'd forgotten that she... Of course. Yes, Doc Gibbs lost his wife 2-3 years ago now. About this time. And today's another pretty bad blow for him, too. It's my sister Carrie's girl. Sam. Samantha Craig.
I'm always uncomfortable when they're around.
Simon. Do they choose their own verses much, Joan? No, not usual. Mostly the breeds pick a verse. Doesn't sound like Aunt Julia. There aren't many of those Reese sisters like that. Let me see, where are... I wanted to look at my father's and mother's. Over there with the Craigs, Avenue F. He was organist at church, wasn't he? Drank a lot, we used to say. Nobody was supposed to know about it. He'd seen a peck of trouble. Took his own life, you know. Oh, did he? Hung himself in the attic. They tried to hush it up, but of course it got around. He chose his own epitaph. You can see it there. It ain't a verse exactly. Why, it's just some notes of music. What is it? Oh, I wouldn't know. It was wrote in the Boston papers at the time. Joan, what did she die of? Who? My cousin. Oh, didn't you know? Had some trouble bringing a baby into the world. 'Twas her second now. There's a little boy, about 4 years old. The grave's going to be over there? Yes. There ain't much more room over here among the Gibbses, so they're opening up a whole new Gibbs section over by Adam P. You'll excuse me now. I see they're coming.
Who is it, Julia?
My daughter-in-law, Emily Webb.
Well, I declare. The road up here must have been awful muddy. What did she die of, Julia?
In childbirth.
Childbirth? I'd forgotten all about that. My, was his life awful and wonderful?
Wonderful.
Simon, now remember.
I remember Emily's wedding. Wasn't it a lovely wedding? And I remember her reading the class poem at graduation exercises. Emily was one of the brightest girls that ever graduated from high school. I've heard Principal Wilkins say so time after time. I called on them at their new farm, just before I died. Perfectly beautiful farm.
It's on the same road we lived on. Yep, very smart farm. I always liked that. That was something.
Hello.
Hello, Emily.
Hello, Miss Gibbs.
Hello, Mother Gibbs. Emily. Hello. It's raining. Yes, they'll be gone soon, dear. Just rest yourself. Seems thousands and thousands of years since Papa remembered that was my favorite hymn. Oh, I do wish I'd been here a long time. I don't like being here. How do you do, Mr. Simpson?
How do you do, Emily?
Mother Gibbs, George and I made that farm into just the best place you ever saw. We thought of you all the time. We wanted to show you the new barn and the great long cement drinking fountain for the stock. We bought that out of the money you left us.
I did?
Don't you remember, Mother Gibbs? The legacy you left us? Why, it was over $350.
Yes, Emily.
Well, there's a patent device on the drinking fountain, so it never overflows, Mother Gibbs, and it never sinks below a certain mark they have there. It's fine. It won't be the same to George without me, but it's a lovely farm. A lot of people don't understand, do they?
No, dear, not very much.
They're sort of shut up in little boxes, aren't they? Feels as though I knew them last 1,000 years ago. My boy is spending the day at Mr. Carter's. Oh, Mrs. Carter, my little boy is spending the day at your house. Yes, he loves it there. Mother Gibbs, we have a Ford too. Never gives any trouble. I don't drive though. Mother Gibbs, when does this feeling go away? Of being one of them? How long does it?
Dear, just be patient.
I know. Look, they're finished. They're going. Look, Father Gibbs is bringing some of my flowers to you. He looks just like George, doesn't he? Mother Gibbs, I never realized before how troubled and in the dark life persons are. Look at him. I loved him so. From morning till night, that's all they are. Trouble.
Little cooler than it was. Yes, that rain's cooled off a bit. Those northeast winds always do the same thing, don't they? If it isn't rain, it's 3-day love.
But Mother Gibbs, one can go back. One can go back there again, into living. I feel it. I know it. Just now, I was thinking about the farm. And for a moment, my baby was on my lap, plain as day.
Yes,
over again. Why not?
All I can say is, Emily, don't.
But it's true, isn't it? I can go and live back there again?
Yes. Some have tried, but they soon come back here.
Don't do it, Emily.
Emily, don't. It's not what you think it'd be.
But I won't live over a sad day. I'll choose a happy one. I'll choose the day I first knew I loved George. Why should that be painful?
You not only live it, but you watch yourself living it.
Yes.
And as you watch it, you see the things that they, down there, never see. You see the future. You know what's going to happen afterward.
But is that painful? Why?
That's not the only reason why you shouldn't do it, Emily. Once you've been here longer, you'll understand that our job here is to forget all that, and focus on what's ahead and look forward to what's ahead. Once you've been here longer, you'll understand.
But Mother Gibbs, how could I ever forget that life? It's all I know. It's all I had.
Oh, Emily, it isn't wise. Really, it isn't.
But it's a thing I must know for myself. I'll choose a happy day anyway.
No, choose an unimportant day at least. The least important day of your life. It will be important enough.
Then it can't be since I was married, or since the baby was born. I can choose a birthday at least, can't I? I choose my 12th birthday.
All right. February 11th, 1899. A Tuesday. You want any special time of day?
Oh, I want the whole day.
We'll begin at dawn. You remember it had been raining for several days, but it stopped the night before, and they'd begun clearing the streets. The sun's coming up.
There's Main Street. And that's Mr. Morgan's drugstore before he changed it. And there's the livery stable.
Yes, it's 1899. This is 14 years ago.
Oh, this is the town I knew as a little girl. And oh, look, there's the old white fence that used to be around our house. Oh, I'd forgotten that. Oh, I love it so. Are they inside?
Yes, your mother will be coming downstairs any minute to make breakfast.
Will she?
And you remember, your father had been away for several days. He's coming back on the early morning train.
No?
He'd been back at his college to make a speech in Western New York, at Clinton.
Look, there's Howie Newsom. There's our policeman. But he's dead. He died.
Oh, Bessie! Bessie! Oh, morning, Bill.
Morning, Allie.
You're up early.
Been rescuing a party. Darn near froze to death. Down by Polish Town, dar. Got drunk and lay out on the soldiers. Thought he was in bed when I shook him.
Why, there's Joe Crowell.
Morning, Mr. Warren. Morning, Howard.
Children, Emily, Wally, time to get up. Mama, I'm here. Oh, how young Mama looks. I just know Mama ever was so young.
You can come change by the kitchen fire if you like, but hurry. Oh, good morning, Mr. Newsom. Oh, it's cold.
Tend a little by that barn, Mrs. Webb.
Think of it. Keep yourself wrapped up.
Mama, I can't find my blue hair ribbon anywhere.
Just open your eyes, dear, that's all. I laid out for you special, on the dresser there. If it were a snake, it'd bite you.
Yes, yes.
Morning, Bill. Morning, Mr. Webb. You're up early.
Yes, just moved back to my college in New York State. Been any trouble here?
Well, I was called up this morning to rescue a Polish fellow. Darn near froze to death he was.
Must get it in the paper.
What much?
Papa.
Hello, Mother.
How did it go, Charles?
Fine, I guess.